If I cannot, we will all learn that together while I'm electrocuted. Ah! Hello everybody. Greetings and salutations.
Hi.
Welcome back to another episode of Sailing svSomeday. How's it going? Oh yeah, you can't talk to us. Well, you can, but you will look silly doing so. Let's talk about bilge. Or a little more specifically, let's talk about bilge pump. I like it. Keeps the boat out of the water. Or
Water out of the boat.
It keeps the water out of the boat. So very important.
In one of our last episodes, we were telling you about how water was coming in the boat, and ended up being it was just the bilge pump didn't work and didn't pump out the water out of the bilge, and so it had gotten high enough that it was getting in the drive shaft. Is that what that's called?
Sure.
And spinning and
Prop shaft.
And spinning and spitting it out. And so it freaked us out, or mostly me, and so we went back to the dock that day. But as soon as I turned the bilge pump on, the automatic switch, it pumped it all out. It was fine.
You have to trust your bilge pump. I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't trust your bilge pump, you might as well just chuck it.
It should have never let the water get that high, so I thought we should invest in a new one and just have the other one as a backup or a spare.
I took it apart and cleaned it with a toothbrush, and it seemed to be okay after that, but this event happened after I cleaned it, so it's just one of those things where, well, it's a good peace of mind to be able to not have to worry about that. Replacing it was a little weird. The wires were there. Well, yeah, we can just watch it. Here, this is what it looks like when you replace your bilge pump. Poof! So we bought the exact same model of bilge pump as we had before, so it should just be a matter of clipping the 3 wires off of the old one and putting the new one on. That's the theory. Things like this, usually 15-minute job, probably going to take 6 hours, 8 hours. That's how boat stuff goes. The old bilge pump and the new bilge pump are the exact same model. They both have 3 wires. So my plan currently is to just snip 1 wire and put a new end on it, one at a time, until all 3 of them are there ready to be connected. We did not disconnect the battery because I feel like I can do it without disconnecting the battery. Which, you know, the jury is still out on that one. If I cannot, we will all learn that together while I'm electrocuted. It's almost like when you watch a movie and they say, when they're defusing a bomb, and they're like, I'm going to clip the wire, and then the whole thing blows up. It's very clearly labeled bilge pump. Do you see that? That's fantastic. Okay, well, I'm going to clip one. I wonder which one I should clip first. I'm going to clip this one.
The red wire.
There's not a red wire. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Take 2 here on our contraption. I've replaced these connectors on the new bilge pump with 14-16 gauge. And I'm down to the last wire. This is probably the one that carries the power, and this is the one that's probably most concerning. That's so creepy. This is probably a horrible way to experiment, right? Like, I want to know if I'm going to blow up, so I'll just grab it with my fingers. The first step in an operation like this is remove the old bilge pump, which we should be able to just go like that. So this is the new one, and that's the old one. And they're exactly the same. This one is slightly different because it has a little button to test, hold for 5 seconds to touch to test. So we're going to push this down in here like the other one. Uh-oh. Please don't tell me this don't fit. Oh no! Are they different sizes somehow? It doesn't seem to fit somehow. Oh, look at that. That does not exist in the old one. oh, you know what? That's a float switch. This is not a float switch. So our old bilge pump bracket is exactly the same, except these two nipples that stick up, these don't stick up, and this does. So this little piece, can you see this here? This little piece will not fit in there because it has, this one doesn't have these and that one does. So we'd either have to cut those off of that or just switch it with this, because this one doesn't. This one has an old float switch. This one appears to be some sort of electronic contraption. So we have to switch out the bracket, but it's just 4 screws. Oh God, do you smell that? Is this something weird smell inside, or is that this?
Wow.
Yep. Jeez. Oh. So we got the bracket switched out. I don't know if you call it bracket, but anyway, so this should just snap down in there now. If it doesn't, I'm going to be unhappy. Yeah, so this snapped in there. Uh-oh. Snaps in, no big deal. Put this on. I think it would be wise to go ahead and put this on.
Do you not need that clamp on there anymore?
This one?
Oh, okay.
It's wise to put this on beforehand, I think, in case the damn thing, you know, I hook the wires up, if it starts pumping, that it won't just crapping out water all over the place like it did that one day. At this point in time, it should just be a matter of hooking these wires together. And this demonstrates that black should go to black, brown should go to white, and brown-white should go to green. I've been pretty happy with these connectors until today. So I guess the real test now would be to like turn that damn thing on and see if it goes.
It doesn't have enough water in it.
Huh?
It doesn't have enough water in it.
3, 2, 1, go. I guess the other question is, does it work automatically? But the only way to test if it really works or not is to fill the bilge up with water. Make sure that it automatically comes on and pumps the water out. Numero uno. Numero dos. Maybe our bilge would be better because it only takes 2 buckets. Yay, now there's a button on the side of this to test it. I think I'm going to push it. And what did it say? Hold 5 seconds or something like that? Do you remember? So I'll put my finger here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey! Alright. That's cool. So having that replaced is excellent. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And we've not had a single problem with it since then. It works flawlessly and good for us. So the other big project we tackled, which we bought the stuff a long time ago and just hadn't gotten around to it, is replacing our furling line for one, but also moving it outboard of the boat. It's a Catalina 30, so it's kind of small on the side decks to begin with. So having a furling line there, we're always stepping on it, rolling feet on it, and all these kind of things. So we've been wanting to move it outside the boat for a while, and so we got the Schaefer, I think they're Schaefer Clear Step. They go around the stanchions and then moved everything out. And then we put like a turning block with a cam cleat at the back. So whenever we pull it in, we can just pull sideways instead of pulling from, you know, something way up here on this stanchion. Maybe I'll just do this for a little while until I get dizzy and fall down, which would be super cool. Our old furling equipment for our I'm all dizzy now. Our old furling equipment leaves something to be desired because it gets in the way and we trip over it because we don't have a lot of space to walk. And so we got all the stuff to fix it with, but we just never fixed it. And so now we need to fix it. Unfortunately, that involves taking the laugh lines off because we're also going to move it outboard. So we have these little things here which go over the stanchions so that the furling line can be outboard. Our furling line, we hang it up right here and it goes to this cleat right here, and then it goes across the deck into these blocks all the way up. And they're in the way, and we always step on them, and if we needed to go do something along the way, we're always tripping over it. Here, it's almost, it's totally in the way if you're walking up here. The angle of attack from the furling drum to this first block is supposed to be 90 degrees. It's supposed to be perpendicular to the headstay, and ours isn't. These blocks are probably 30 years old, and they do not work very well. We're going to have to take these laugh lines off, but the laugh lines have these little plastic protectors on there and they won't fit through these holes right here, so we're going to have to take those off to even get the laugh lines off. And I'm not sure how these turnbuckles or whatever they are work just yet. We'll have to figure that out too. So I don't think it'll take that long but it's a boat project and I know it will take 7 to 15 times longer than I suspect it will.
This has our reefing marks on it. We'll have to redo our reefing marks. The old furling line is off, so next step is to take off the old blocks.
Now that the blocks are off of the stanchions, the next step would be to take the fenders off of the laugh lines because we hang them there and we have to move the shore power cable or take it off. Now we just have to figure out how to get the laugh lines off. We'll have to figure out these turnbuckles. I don't think they're called turnbuckles when they look like that. They're called something else. Barrel nut, I think so it's called. Anyway, we have to figure out how to get these off, which I think is just a matter, hopefully, of just popping them off like this. In my dream, this was super easy, but also could fly. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these to strip off. This is turning now and not this.
Last time you took that off.
I took what off?
The whole wire. You took that.
From here?
Hang on. You took that thing out,
Oh,
so you're going to lose that T in the water.
Yeah. Gotcha. Definitely was going to lose that. 100%. Well, I think it might be stuck in it. Ah! Did you see that?
What was it? A bee?
Yeah.
I think I didn't see it because
Oh my gosh. And I didn't drop it in the water or nothing. So these pieces go safely inside so we don't lose them. It's very strange. There's no laugh line.
We still have our bet that, whoever falls off the boat first has to give the other one $100, so there's no lifelines.
The laugh lines are off. She just showed you the stanchions, and I think that's cool that we just put those pieces on. It's really just those 3. We'll put these blocks on the 3 stanchions, and we can put the laugh lines and stuff back on. These blocks are the Schaefer clear step blocks. They go over the stanchions, like that, and it's got a captive piece here so that your furling line can go through there and move your furling line outboard of the boat. It has a little hole in the sheave and it has a little hex thing in there to tighten it down. Yeah, so we just gonna put these on here right here for right now. Go down there to that second one. Oh, hello. I'm in the shadow now. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Isn't that a thing? So I'm just gonna temporarily stick that one there. I'm gonna try not to fall off this boat. And number 3. Boom. That's the only reason we need to take the laugh lines off. So now we can put the laugh lines back on. Yeah. So it's a little while later. It's a little darker than it was, but we got the laugh lines back on, got our shore power cable hung back up. The key here is that this is 90 degrees. I think is what you're trying to shoot for. The attack angle here is 90 degrees to the first block. And I mean, I'm not over there where you are at, but it seems like it's probably 90 degrees. If it's not, we can adjust this up or down just a little bit. And this is just like a standard sort of block. The other one we had was back here for some reason, so the angle was not good. And we can tweak this later if we need to. But so for right now, that's fine. This little knot will be fine. Everything's fine. So that one goes to there. And that obviously needs to be kind of like that. Tighten that guy down. We'll put everything super tight in a little while. Right now, that'll be fine. It feels super cool. You'll probably have to take a few times furling it or unfurl and furl to dial it in like we want, but that seems way better than before. And the deck is clear. And that was really the ultimate goal to begin with. We're losing daylight, so we may just sort of cleat this off and then maybe put on this one tomorrow with the cam cleat on there. I think we're going to put that one maybe here, or some way where we can just like have not used this cleat. So we got this last little Harken block on the last stanchion. We couldn't put one of the clear step ones on because there's no way to get it on there since it has to go over the top of the stanchion. And then at the back we have this block with a cam cleat so that whenever we're ready to deploy the sail, we just pop this out and it goes. And it makes it super easy when you pull it back in because you're pulling sideways towards the helm. Don't you want to wave or something? So when you pull it sideways from the helm, it makes it a lot easier. And then whenever you got it pulled in, instead of having to worry about going and find a cleat to put it on, you just pop it down in that cam cleat. It's time to pull our Genoa in for the day, so we're going to just fall off on a broad reach, a pretty deep broad reach if we can get there, and then I'll just uncleat her and pull her in. Let me turn back up a little bit. And there we go. Easy peasy. Yep. Super pleased with the way it turned out, and the decks are clear, and it's much safer that way. And so we just out here heaving to. It's getting cooler, but when the sun shines, it's still warm. The sky looks incredible. That looks amazing. Here, let's do this. So, the sky looks like that. I'll never get that back where it's supposed to be. That's pretty close. I'm gonna click on my own face. I'm gonna click on your own head.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all that cool YouTube-y kind of junk. And there you go. I think that'll do it. We will see you guys next time.
Peace.
Adios.